Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order, our regular meeting for February 16th. We will begin with an invocation by Pastor Lance Cole from First Baptist Church of Reedsville, followed by the pledge by Carter Cole and Asher Cole. So, Pastor Cole, if you'd please come up, if you're able, if you could stand for us.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, let us never gather together without thanking you for your blessings, for the way in which you have watched over us and cared for us. Lord, even with conflict and uncertainty, we know that you are still the Lord of all creation, that you still look at us with love and compassion, and that you desire for each and every one of us to look at our neighbor with love and compassion. Help us never to forget these facts. Help these men as they serve our county to do so with wisdom, to do so with their own measure of compassion and faith and love for their neighbor. Help each person here as we listen to the business that is going to be conducted here tonight. Let us do so in a way that we seek to honor and glorify you, and to leave this place and to seek an opportunity to honor and glorify you in whatever work that you have planned for us. Let's do all this with a thankful and grateful heart. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I'd be remiss to state that Pastor Cole represents First Baptist Church of Reedsville, and we have Carter and Asher with us, ages 12 and 10. They are homeschooled, and they belong to the Trail Life Troop 007. So, gentlemen, it's your pleasure. If everyone please face the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen.
That next takes us to item 3, recognition that will be presented by County Manager Lance Mesler.
Yes, sir. It's an honor and privilege to read this resolution in honor of the Reedsville High School Rams. They did an excellent job, as they do almost every year over the past centuries of being in Reedsville. So a resolution congratulating the Reedsville High School Rams football team for winning the 2025 NCHSAA State 4A Championship, whereas the Reedsville High School Rams football team played the Brevard High School Blue Devils at Mortez Stadium in Hickory, North Carolina on December the 13th and won by a score of 50-20 to win the 2025 North Carolina High School Athletic Association State 4A Championship. And whereas this championship game represents the Reedsville Rams' 31st appearance since 1930 in the NCHSAA State Championship football game, and the 24th title win in the history of Reedsville football, with no other school having won more NCHSAA football titles. And whereas after ending the non-conference schedule with 2 losses, the Rams came together and won 9 consecutive games to finish an outstanding winning season with an impressive 13-2 overall record and an undefeated 6-0 conference record. And whereas the accomplishments of the 2025 Reedsville High School Rams football team can be attributed to their individual abilities, experience, and the players' determination to bring home a win by working together as a team. And whereas the Reedsville High School Rams football team throughout this winning season exhibited the skill and tenacity necessary to win a state football championship, with Coach Eric Teague describing the championship game as a showcase of the team's offensive firepower and defensive solidity. Now, therefore, the Rockingham County Board of Commissioners hereby congratulates the 2025 Reedsville High School Rams football team for its outstanding season, expresses appreciation for its accomplishment in bringing another NCHSAA State Football Championship to the city of Reedsville and to the county of Rockingham, and in particular congratulates each of the following players, coaches, trainers, and individuals of his or her personal contributions. And for the benefit of the group here, I'm not going to read the names because I don't want to slaughter the names like I did the last time, but we have plenty of players, the head coach, coaching staff, principal, assistant principal, athletic director, ball boy, equipment managers, the band director, statistician, cheerleader coach. It's long, the list is long, but it's so distinguished, but I'll ask the board if they would mind presenting this to Coach Teague and his players and staff if they're here. Y'all come up here.
Yeah, we'll have you come around. I'll let y'all choose. You can go with the half of the board of commissioners. And congratulations on another convention. Thank you.
Coach, if you get in the middle of that'd be great.
Couple, 1, 2, 3. More. 1, 2, 3. You want to get you?
Sorry.
If you want to come up, if you want a picture, you can come closer. You don't have to. Come on. Anybody have one? Yeah. Awesome job, guys.
Yeah, right.
I bet they could put any college team.
Pretty close to it.
Yeah, I'll just slide in his head.
I just want to take a point of privilege for a recognition real quick. All the players are important, all the people are important, all the teams are important, but we have Alex, the kicker, Penaloza, with us tonight, and he hit a kick that took him to the championship. So thanks for being with us here tonight, Alex, and what a kick.
Good job.
So, gentlemen, we had a couple of weeks to look over this agenda. Do we have any changes that we need to make or any motions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir. Commissioner.
I'd like to move that we take item 11, the update from Jeremy Delap, and move that in front of public comment. And with that, I make a motion. We accept it as amended.
Do we have a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Richard to accept as amended. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to our consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be non-controversial in nature. If you have any questions about anything on the consent agenda, please reach out to the county manager's office. Gentlemen, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Richardson,
Second.
second by Commissioner Callum. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. So that will take us to our amended agenda item number 7 with our presentation from Mr. Jeremy Delap. If you please come up.
Good evening. How y'all doing?
Sorry for putting you off for 2 weeks, but we appreciate you being here.
Oh, yeah, that's no problem at all. Let's see. All right. No, thanks for having me. I'm Jeremy Delap with NCDOT, and I got Brian Kettner here with me as well. He's a division project delivery engineer. Last month, Wright Archer, our division engineer, he gave an update of some active projects and some future projects that was going to take place in Rockingham County, and one in particular was the US 220 I-73 upgrade to interstate standards. And Commissioner Richardson asked me back tonight to kind of elaborate on that a little bit, so that's kind of what we're going to discuss tonight. So basically, we've got We acquired $2 million to do a PE study from I-73, right there on 220 near Newnham Road, up to NC 135. What this study will detail is the start environmental document process. It'll also give us a good footprint of where maybe some interchanges may come, some overpasses, the service roads that may be acquired.
Jeremy, if I could, some folks are having a hard time hearing, and so if you could pull that microphone up, that would be great.
How's that?
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. So yeah, where I was at, some interchanges that may be needed along US 220 and some service roads in the general area. Once we reach the end of the study, which will approximately take about 3 years, we will have some public outreach. It'll give the folks some opportunity to have some feedback, some comments, so we can sort of put that in our design as we move forward. Let's see. So some of the key areas focus along US 220. Of course, to get US 220 interstate standards, it's got to be full control access. That means eliminating all driveways, at-grade crossings, any kind of roadway connections to meet those interstate standards. Along that, we had a feasibility study, a concept design that originated around 2024-25 to kind of get this ball rolling. And they've identified, as you know, from I-73 to 135, there's 2 existing interchanges, 704 and NC 135. It looks like there possibly may be 2 additional interchanges, one at Simpson Road and the other one just north at Sardis Church Road, with the addition of 2 overpasses at Williams Road and Ellisboro Road, where it'll tie into Tourist Road, which will then connect to NC 704. And then anything there, we'll have to have some service roads there to allow access for the businesses and residents that are currently located along US 220. And those service roads will be on the east-west side of US 220, all up and down it. So speaking of one of the existing interchanges, NC 135, I think y'all saw this slide last time, but this contract has been let. We're hoping to start sometime late spring on that and complete of November of 2028. Basically, when they redo this bridge right here, they will get that interchange brought up to interstate standards to accommodate the future I-73. So we're ahead of the game on this interchange. So what's next moving forward? Of course, we've got the study, we've got the $2 million, we've got the designs coming, we get the environmental documents. That way, it'll sort of lay out the impacts of where the wetlands may be, streams, any kind of historic sites. That's kind of lay the groundwork of that. The biggest thing is funding. This project has not been funded yet, and it's got to go through the normal scoring process to get on the STIP and to be approved by the Board of Transportation to move this project forward. Initially, the feasibility study and the concept design, they had this broken down into 2 segments. From I-73 to NC 135 and then 135 to the Virginia state line. Well, since then, NCDOT got together and they feel like it would have been better and it will score better against other projects throughout the state if we broke it down into 4 smaller segments, which starting at the south, I-73 to Sardis Church, and then just moving north to 135, then 135 to 770, and then on the Virginia state line. Of course, with the smaller segments, it comes like a smaller price tag, so we're hoping it'll score better, and that's what we're hoping. Of course, when it gets funded, design process will keep going, public outreach will keep going to get those people's feedback before we get too far along. And then once we get to where if we feel comfortable, right-of-way acquisition will start getting acquired, reaching out to those property owners for those parcels that's impacted by the road improvements. And then once that's done, we'll get it to contract, let it, and award for construction. And that's all I've got. I can open up to any questions you may have to me and Brian.
You have any questions?
I might, and for general public knowledge, ever since a number of housing developments have sprung up, particularly near the intersection or where 220 turns into 73 or vice versa, depending on how you, been a lot of questions about that. And why are we late to task is the question I get.
Yeah, well, funding's one reason. Yes, absolutely. And when I-73 was built coming out of Guilford County, it opened the door up for Rockingham County, as y'all know. And then when the sewer, the utilities came up to it, US 220, the developments just started exploding. And so we know this is a need, and so that's why we're trying to push this project forward.
Well, to some of us, the good news is we got some state money, thanks to the legislature, to start the process. The bad news is for all of us residents, there's going to be ongoing construction in this area for quite some time. And I would encourage anybody, when there are public hearings, an opportunity to make input to do so. We just had a budget meeting. People like to criticize our budget, and we didn't have a single visitor. But when you guys start talking, they need to visit you, is my plea to them, so that they can make their concerns known. And personally, I'd like to thank you and your team there, Wright Archer and Mike Fox and so forth. It's been very helpful.
Commissioner Callum?
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Chair. If you're talking about in the future that will expand up there, up the 220 corridor, we've already had the water and sewer pump stations put in. Will that affect any of that where it's already in the ground? Would it have to be moved, or how will that affect with service roads on both sides of the road?
Okay. Very well, it possibly could affect the existing utilities, depending on how much right-of-way we ask for in the service roads, where they'll be identified where they need to go. So it possibly could affect the utilities.
Have to be moved?
Have to be relocated, yes, sir.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
No.
I just have a question for you as far as timeline goes. I know you said this project is not funded yet. Typically, when a project like this is funded, what sort of timeline are we looking at from that point?
I'm thinking 10 plus or minus years, Brian.
Okay. That's a good ballpark. Yeah. Gentlemen, we have any other questions?
Well, and
Commissioner Berger?
funding depends on the legislature, right? And ultimately control of the legislature. I mean, they dictate how much money, and they've got some say over projects. Is that right?
They do. They're going through the STEP project, because it goes up against other projects throughout the state. And depending on the price tag on the projects, safety, that sort of thing, yes.
Okay.
It's a big project. Even though the state only has to come up with 20% of it, it's a big figure.
It's a big figure.
Well, Mr. Delight, thank you for your update tonight. We appreciate you being here.
All right, thank you.
So that will move us to our next item, public comment. Mr. Manager, if you wouldn't mind going over the rules for public comment.
Yes, sir. One moment, please. The public comment period shall be for the purpose of allowing members of the public to present any matter pertaining to county business or items on the Board of Commissioners' agenda. Remarks shall be addressed directly to the Board of Commissioners, not to the staff, the audience, or media. The chairperson shall and did open the public comment period. Any speaker who wishes to speak shall approach the podium and not speak from his or her seat. Each speaker shall clearly state his or her name and physical address when he or she approaches the podium. Each citizen shall be allotted 3 minutes. Citizens will be allowed to yield their time on a specific topic by utilizing one more attendee's time. This would allow no more than 6 minutes. The total amount of time allotted for public comment period is 30 minutes. Your time will be displayed on the monitor in front of you. The clock will start with 3 minutes unless yielded time to 6 minutes. You will hear a beep at 1 minute to alert you to wrap up your comments. If you are to yield your time or time is yielded to you, then please let the chairperson know in advance. Speakers will not be allowed to campaign for public office, promote private business ventures, or use language of a personal nature which insults or demeans any person, or which, when directed at a public official, is not related to his or her official duties. The Board of Commissioners may accept written comments in lieu of oral statements. Written statements can be delivered to the county manager's office. Mr. Chair?
Thank you, sir. First, we have Mrs. Ann Fish. And I see that we have two people signed up for food drive. Nadia, are you yielding your time, or are you speaking also? Okay.
My name is Ann Fish. My address is 331 Wilshire Drive, Eden. Is that all I need? Well, y'all know that this time of year you're going to see me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I think the last time, or maybe the time before that, we came up, I said I wasn't going to speak, and one of you guys said that would be the day. So I'll make sure y'all get to hear me tonight. Nadia here is the new chairman of our food drive, and she will be doing most of the talking. But I want to maybe give y'all a brief background for those that don't know of the food drive. This is a countywide food drive. We do it each February and March, and we're way behind this year getting started because of all this weather. But way back in 2010, the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints asked each church congregation in this area to come up with a service idea to make our church more visible in the community. At the time, I was a reporter, and while we were discussing the ideas on the way home from Greensboro that day, I piped up with the fact that I had just done a story about hunger in Rockingham County. One of the men in the car suggested we do a food drive. One time, just one time only, and we had 4 food pantries countywide, and that year we raised 10,000 pounds of food. We thought that was something. I mean, we were so proud. So when we had the review meeting after the food drive was over, the agencies, those 4 agencies, said we did such a great job, would we consider making it an annual event? So here we are today, 16 years later, still going strong and servicing 7 agencies. We had 8, but one of them had to close recently due to funding problems. Over the years, we've had hundreds of churches and businesses, and you commissioners especially have really supported us from year one. Y'all were here that very first day. But during COVID, our donations fell off, and so we're having a lot of trouble even getting started this year. But we have confidence in Daniel Cruz, who is heading up this year's food drive, and the department heads, and look forward to making frequent trips here for pickups again. Nadia Jones here behind me is our new chairman. She was born in Ohio and spent most of her childhood in Charlotte. She graduated from Brigham Young University with a bachelor's degree in art history and has been living in Reedsville just under 9 years. She and her husband, David, a mechanical engineer and lab manager, have 5 children ages 8 to 16, and all of them are students in Rockingham County schools. Nadia, I'm going to be giving these out while you're doing that.
Mrs. Jones, come on up, and if you could just state your name and address for us before you get started.
Okay. My name is Nadia Jones, and I live at 1223 Crescent Drive in Reedsville. And I'd just like to say good evening, Board of Commissioners. I'd like to start off by thanking you all for your past and present efforts in helping to support us in collecting food to help feed those in our community who are in need through our annual food drive. The food pantries in our coalition that we currently serve now are Salvation Army in Reedsville and Eden, Cormai Community Development in Reedsville, Cornerstone Christian Church in Reedsville, Rockingham County Veterans Coalition in Wentworth, Fostering Opportunities in Communities and Uniting Services, or FOCUS, in Eden, Cooperative Christian Ministries in Eden, and Hands of God in Madison. Last year, we received food from many participants and partners, and some of the larger quantities I'm going to list for you because they're just good good efforts that were made, and we want to let you know about them. So South End Elementary collected over 2,000 pounds of food. Leaksville Spray Elementary collected over 1,300 pounds of food. Madison and Maiden Scouts collected 704 pounds. Rockingham Chiropractic is the business that collected the most food for us last year out of businesses, and they were at 580 pounds. We had some groups and families organize neighborhood collections, which was really, really good, and brought in 924 pounds. And of course, the Rockingham County offices collected 951 pounds of food for us last year and donated over 1,100 gallons of water, which we then added to our total at 9,279 pounds of water. So our total collection last year without the water was 38,995 pounds of food and supplies. And with the water, it was obviously more. Like Ann Fish mentioned, our collection numbers have been going down over the past few years. For example, in 2023, it was at 55,600 pounds. And 2024 was 48,900 pounds. And without the water last year, obviously, we're down in the 30s now. Our goal this year is 60,000, but of course, we'd be happy if we could just make it to last year's goal or even exceed that a little bit and not have the downward trend anymore. So again, thank you for your support in helping us to collect food. And thank you for your time.
Mr. Johnson. Next up, we have Ms. Diane Parnell.
I'm giving my time to Don Powell.
Okay. Next up, we have Mr. Doug Oslin.
Good evening, gentlemen. Doug Isley, 1790 Flat Rock Road, Reedsville, North Carolina. First of all, I'd like to thank the North Carolina DOT here in Rockingham County for doing an extremely fine job clearing the roads here in the county during our storm. I traveled through several counties. I won't name the other counties I went through, but they paled in comparison to Rockingham County. So first and foremost, I want to thank the DOT. Members of the board, on January 21st, and I don't have my glasses, I'm going to read this. I submitted a public records request to the Rockingham County government. I requested text messages and electronic communications related to county business from Commissioners Hall, Berger, and Barrow, including communications on personal devices or personal accounts. Several weeks later, the only response I received from the county attorney was the county does not have custody of these records. That response does not comply with North Carolina record law. Under Chapter 132 of General Statutes, public records are defined by content, not by where they are stored. And if an elected official conducts county businesses by text message or emails, even on a personal phone, those communications are public records. They do not become private simply because they are on a personal device. Saying the county lacks custody is not enough when a public records request is made. The county has an obligation to make a reasonable search for responsive records. This includes directing elected officials to search their own devices for communications related to the public business. None of that was done. The county did not ask commissioners to search their phones, clarify that any search occurred, identify lawful exemption, cite a statute allowing withholding. Instead, the request was effectively ignored. So that raises some serious concerns about transparency and compliance with state law. So tonight I'm asking for clear answers. Will the county instruct the commissioners named in the request to search their devices for the public records on the date that I clarified? Will the county clarify in writing what search efforts were conducted? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Ms. Oslin. Next, we have Mr. Don Powell.
Don Powell, 356 Fawcett Road, Reedsville. Gentlemen, I assure you that I had absolutely no intentions of being out here to talk to you twice this year after I got off this board. However, some of the things that are going on that concern me, I feel like I need to address. The last meeting that I was at, Mr. Jim Fink stood up and asked questions concerning the insurance coverage for the lawsuit, the frivolous lawsuit, actually, that Mr. Craig Travis filed against myself, Mr. Berger, Mr. Richardson, and others. he made it sound like that Mr. Travis was just notified that the county's insurance was covering this. And I know that you have this on your agenda tonight, but since I'm not a part of the board, I won't be able to participate in that. So I want to get my thoughts out ahead of time. But I believe Mr. Elliott would tell you and testify to the fact that Mr. Travis called him and he was aware of this way before getting an insurance letter from the insurance the company indicating that there had been a change in who was handling the case. In addition to that, it appears that myself and Mr. Richardson and Mr. Berger have been accused of insurance fraud, that on social media, and then I believe that there was an insurance claim filed to the North Carolina Department of Insurance alleging similar or the same thing. And at that time, shortly after its filing with the North Carolina Department of Insurance, it was dutifully dismissed and deemed inappropriate and not a fraud. If you remember back, and I'm sure that this board hasn't forgot this non-reporting of insurance claims or potential liability on the county is what cost the sheriff his insurance, or at least one of the items that cost him his insurance. So when this was filed against 3 sitting commissioners at the time, it was incumbent upon Chris Elliott, the safety and risk manager, to send this to the insurance company. And the insurance company on their own makes the decision as to whether they will cover anything, any potential claim that's out there. And after reading the lawsuit, which did contain language in it referring to a rezoning request that we granted on 220, and some information about the casino, they deemed that it was theirs to defend because it referenced actions taken by the board at that time. And so therefore they have taken that up. Now, in the same lawsuit, quite frankly, there are a lot of pages of nonsense in there. There's all kinds of notations about donations made to House leaders and representatives and Senate representatives, people that I certainly don't know. I've never donated money to them. So it does appear to be a frivolous and malicious lawsuit and has been dismissed twice and currently on appeal to the North Carolina Appellate Court. If the money was concern of Mr. Travis, then he could simply not have filed the lawsuit and saved the county a pile of money. But of course, we know that didn't happen, and so the county's insurance is picking that tab up. So I just wanted to take a minute so that we could ensure the public that I have never had any conversation with an insurance company, even when I was serving on the board. That's handled internally with the county, and certainly I do agree after reading the lawsuit it should have been handled by the insurance company. I've been involved with that before. And I'm sorry that this format here in front of you guys has been turned into an opportunity to parlay politics, if you would say, because obviously this wasn't a concern until we got closer to the May 3rd election when Mr. Travis obviously knew about this way back and before I ever left the board. So I hope that going forward, you guys have some rules on these public comment sections, and I realize that everybody has a right to stand up and exercise their First Amendment right, but it certainly is not appealing to the public or to industry that may be looking to come here when we see some of the things that we saw go on at our public comment section. So I appreciate the job you're doing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. That brings us to the end of our public comment section. Next, it will take us to item 8, which is discussion by Chris Elliott, Safety and Risk Manager.
Mr. Chairman, Honorable Board of Commissioners, I couldn't have asked for a better segue into what I want to talk about tonight. I just want to give you a brief reading of some thoughts that I've gathered, and then I can open it up for questions afterwards. When an insurance claim is filed, the insurer begins by reviewing the policy terms and the facts surrounding the claim to determine coverage. In some cases, the insurer may identify uncertainties about the policy and what it fully covers. These uncertainties can arise from factors such as ambiguities or interpretations that aren't exact in policy language, potential exclusions or limitations, questions about the insured's compliance with policy conditions, and if someone files a claim or a lawsuit against the insured, which would be the county, we are the insured, Travelers is the insurer, that person becomes the claimant. I guess there was some issues with Mr. Travis by wondering why he was called the claimant. Well, when you file a lawsuit against the county, you become a claimant. So the insurer then investigates the claim to determine liability and coverage under the policy. To address coverage concerns while continuing to investigate all the issues around the claim, the insurer issues a reservation of rights letter. The letter serves two primary purposes. Number one, notification. It informs the policyholder that the insurer will proceed with handling the claim, such as investigating or providing a defense, but it reserves the right to deny coverage later if it determines it can. Number two, protection. It protects the insurer from waiving its rights by continuing to act on the claim without clarifying its position on coverage, which means Travelers wants to protect itself and does not want to violate law. So, following the completion of the investigation, the insurer will issue a final coverage determination based on the applicable policy terms and the facts established during the claims process. In this matter, Travelers elected to provide representation for the commissioners named in Travis's 2023 baseless lawsuit. During the course of the claim, the originally assigned claims adjuster retired. A new adjuster was appointed. In accordance with standard procedure, both attorneys of record were promptly notified of this change with a letter. That's why Mr. Travis got up in arms, which I don't really fully understand because the claim happened in July, the 10th of July in 2023. Soon after that claim was filed against Rockingham County, Mr. Travis personally reached out to me via telephone. And we talked about this. He asked then, why was the county representing the commissioners that were filed on the lawsuit? And it was because of the way that the lawsuit read. And Travelers makes that determination, not me, not y'all. I put in the claim, they make the determination. So, subsequent to the issuance of this notification, false and defamatory statements were made regarding the commissioners. Not only just you. False and defamatory statements were made against Travelers Insurance. False and defamatory statements were made against me and county staff. At the most recent meeting, it was alleged that felony fraud, let me say that again, felony fraud was committed by county staff members, by this Board of Commissioners, and by Travelers Insurance. Can you even hear how stupid that sounds? That Travelers Insurance, a global company, would go and violate public law for my record or for your record? It's asinine. I stand here today and I'm a little upset because yet again, my character has been attacked. Your character has been attacked off of baseless claims. A complaint was filed, said in this meeting, the last meeting we had, a complaint was filed with the North Carolina Department of Insurance. It is important to note, just as Don said, it's important to note that these allegations were thoroughly reviewed and dismissed by the North Carolina Insurance Criminal Investigations Department. The case was officially closed as confirmed by letter from the Deputy Commissioner of Insurance, which is available here. Not my word. This is from the Insurance Deputy Commissioner. The fraudulent, baseless, know-nothing claims that were brought against me and you have zero value. Insurance companies operate under strict regulatory frameworks and are legally obligated to comply with all applicable laws and regulations. It's important to clarify that insurance carriers will not, under any circumstances, break the law to represent any individual, any entity, or any organization. Any suggestions that an insurance company or a county administrative staff member, commissioner, would commit fraud or violate the law to provide representation or perform official duties is false and inconsistent with how we've operated our day-to-day duties. And if we want to obtain a good insurance rate moving forward, then fraudulent claims like this by people should cease. We're doing a good job. We've done a good job. Every insurance policy that the county oversees and administers is in great standing with Travelers Insurance. And to have to sit and talk with our representatives and our Travelers Insurance Company, and for them to hear that somebody had accused them of fraud also was a laughing matter. We've become the laughing stock of North Carolina for insurance carriers. And anybody who's an insurance agent, who's an insurance underwriter, who deals with insurance should realize that these claims are baseless and fraudulent.
Thank you, Mr. Elliott. Gentlemen, do we have any questions or comments for Mr. Elliott?
I would like to enter in to the record for evidence the North Carolina Department of Insurance letter from the Deputy Commissioner that says, and inquire as to whether coverage is available in the filing of the claim based on accurate factual information was done on this case and is not insurance fraud. The North Carolina Department of Insurance has closed this complaint, having found no evidence of criminal activity.
Mr. Elliott, if you would provide that information to Susan, we'll make sure that that gets entered into the record. Thank you very much. Commissioner Berger.
Yes. So, a couple of things. It started with an underlying complaint that was filed back in '23 against a majority of this board. And we didn't file an answer to that complaint. Our attorneys did not. Actually filed a motion to dismiss. And then that motion to dismiss was granted. And what the court found was not that, let me back up. Motion to dismiss was granted, and then the attorneys filed a subsequent motion. Hey, Judge, can you think about this again? So the court held a hearing, and the transcript from that hearing is quite interesting. Just as I indicated before that what we saw at that meeting that you're referring to, making those claims, was nothing but basically an attempt to garner attention. It was a publicity stunt. So the court, in hearing all of the information and reviewing the file, taking the evidence that was presented, they noticed that the conduct of the attorneys and possibly, I'm reading from the transcript, possibly the plaintiff goes well beyond the matter that was before the court. The complaint was 38 pages long, 17 of which referenced matters not related to anything pertaining to the claims. Then they mentioned that the motion to reconsider was 20 pages long. Less than 2 pages addressed the motion. The motion, much like the complaint, appeared to be an attempt to draw attention to something not before the court. They were using this lawsuit to pursue some other purpose. And, then you heard, or actually see evidence of folks posting saying, well, the judge was appointed by the legislature. But what those folks are not posting is that the judge donated to Travis's attorney, one of the attorneys, in a political campaign. So, it's just baseless information, baseless accusations over and over again. And we've seen it in here just in an attempt to draw attention and garner headlines. And the court recognized it as well. So, yes, it's been dismissed twice. Yes, it's been taken up on appeal. And the court also recognized that it was filed in Wake County despite the primary players being in Rockingham County. And of course, they noticed that the press was getting their hands on stuff before it was in court. So, I mean, it's just part of some game people play.
Commissioner Cowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question to you, Chris, would be, has any cost been incurred since this claim has been filed? Attorney fees, deductibles? Will there be a premium in cost increase? If so, how was this funded?
So travelers, we pay a deductible for any claim that comes against us. Y'all commissioners have a protection area under general liability. So if a claim comes against y'all, we cover the deductible. The deductible covers the attorney that Travelers appoints, and then Travelers handles the suit after that. Any kind of determination to pay out a settlement or anything would be in the hands of Travelers, and not necessarily myself or even this board. They would pay that out.
Anything else, Mr. Campbell? Gentlemen, Commissioner Hall, Commissioner Richardson, anything?
No. I've got
Commissioner
one
Burger?
other thing. I did see some comments as far as folks saying that the money should be repaid. And we completely agree. One party has already filed the motion for Mr. Travis and his attorneys to pay those fees. And our attorney has advised us that that'll be coming as well.
Well, that's good to hear, because baseless accusations like that, not only against the Board of Commissioners, not only against our insurance company, but when you look at frontline staff like me, a felony's a felony. And I don't like being accused or defamed for my character. I think a lot of my job, and I want to do everything I can to be forthright and upcoming and of good standing. I sit here today as the Vice President of the North Carolina Public Risk Management Association. We don't just cover counties, we cover all municipalities. We cover all of our colleges and school systems. And I represent every risk manager in the state. As the Vice President, and to have folks like this in this county bringing accusations like that, I do take it personally, and I don't like it. And I think it's unprofessional. And I think they do need to be called out about it.
Commissioner Richardson.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. I think I know the answer, but because of the suit that we've gone through, has our insurance company raised the premium to the county?
No. So the only premium that has literally been raised and changed, dramatically, I would say, would be the Sheriff's Department. And they practically said that they didn't want to touch them with a 10-foot pole until after the sheriff was gone. And that's not my words. It's not for anybody to get mad at me. Take it up with Travelers Insurance. That's where they're at. So I don't know what the premium's going to be moving forward. I know that since we've had conversations over the last 24 months, we've been working hard with the captains and the senior staff over the Sheriff's Department trying to have better communication. They're filling out y'all's daily questionnaire that y'all put in. That happened a little bit after June of 2024. So since then, we've been making strides, but they wanted to see 24 months of improvement. But other than that, most of our policies have went down and not up. So the last two audits that we've had with Travelers Insurance and our insurance carriers, even with our auto, me and Derek talked to them the other day, and they see a potential maybe neutralization or even a drop in that. So we've done a great job over the span of all departments with our premiums.
You know, most of us drive automobiles, and so we're very familiar with automobile insurance. And I don't know about everybody's insurance company, but I think most of them are like mine. If my driving record is good, they lower the premium.
Yes.
And if it ain't, it ain't. It goes higher, pardon my English. So the county as a whole, not just the commissioners and not any one individual department, has not suffered a premium increase or a reduction in coverage because of this attempted litigation.
And honestly, in Travelers' eyes, they see how ridiculous this lawsuit is. We've talked to them. This is baseless. It's at anything else, it's grandstanding. It seems to them as much as it does me. That's why it's been thrown out of court. It's not my words. It's the judges. It's our attorneys. So
it's okay. Yeah. I asked the question being fairly sure of your answer because I think the public needs to know that public funds have not been affected negatively by anything that's gone on within the county.
No, sir.
And while I'm here, you're a great risk manager. We appreciate you a lot.
If anything has come out of this, we have received more empathy from our insurance company because of the mess we got to deal with.
Mr. Elliott, thank you very much for your discussion here tonight. I do have just one point of clarification. You mentioned the sheriff's office and you mentioned June of 24. Just for the public's information, the sheriff's office has been complying with our current insurance coverage and doing the things that have been requested by the insurance company.
That is correct.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you, sir.
Next, that takes us to public hearings. If I could have our county manager go over the rules for public hearings.
Turn it over to the clerk.
Attorney, excuse me.
Okay. The public hearing. Public comment.
I don't have the public hearing part. We should have that.
Okay. Well, we're going to have a public hearing, talk about 4 zoning matters. The community development director will introduce the cases, and then public hearing will be opened by the chair, and people wishing to comment on a particular case will come forward, state their name, address the issues that they see, that they feel need to be addressed, and then at the end of that, the public hearing will be closed, and the board will debate and discuss the motion to approve the rezoning, and then at that time, a vote will be taken whether to approve or deny the rezoning. So when you come forward to talk about it after the presentation, when the case is called, come up and state your name and make your comment.
I believe the applicant has a period of time to present if they want to,
That's
and
true,
then
yes.
a rebuttal period after the public comment as well. Is that right?
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Albright. Mr. Adam Barr, our community development head.
Commissioners, Mr. Barr isn't here tonight. He's at a conference in Raleigh, so I'll be presenting the cases tonight.
If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, my apologies.
It's okay. I'm Nicholas Duncan. I'm the planner for the county.
the same thing. I believe Commissioner Richardson wanted to know if you were going to sing tonight.
I'm not going to sing tonight, Commissioner Richardson. Our case tonight is case 2025-16. It's the Deacon rezoning. It is a request to rezone a property that's mixed from highway commercial, conditional district, and neighborhood commercial to residential agriculture. The tax pin for the record is 7903-0341-9383, and it's located at the southwest corner of Shelton and Ellisboro Roads. It's located in the Huntsville Township. This is a conventional rezoning, which means that you have to consider all the different applicable actions in that zoning district. The planning board did vote 6-0 to recommend the approval based on the consistency of our land use plan and the reasonableness of the rezoning on the regular scheduled meeting in January. So this is a vicinity map of the county, and as you can see, the parcel is located in the southwestern portion. It's above Stokesdale, and it's very close to Ballew's Lake. Here is a zoning map of the parcel. As you can see, there are portions of the parcel that are already zoned RA, but the sections that are requesting to be rezoned are the parts that are highway commercial and neighborhood commercial. This is a aerial map of the parcel. There's currently nothing on it. The parcel is located within the G1 transect of our land use plan, which means it's characterized by a low-density growth area. The G1 land class also suggests that parcels in that zoning area should generally be zoned residential agricultural, although if you have planned residential development and residential zoning could be appropriate for residential mixed. The staff does find that the application is complete and sufficient for the planning board and board commissioners to consider the request, and staff does recommend the rezoning. And I'll entertain any questions you guys have.
Gentlemen, do we have any questions at this time?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Hall.
Isn't part of this property, and maybe other board members would remember, isn't part of this what was rezoned in 2018?
It is.
Not the corner property, but the larger portion?
It is.
Okay.
I don't recall the year, but yes, I believe somebody had come forward about a storage location at that point.
Mechanics?
Yes.
Mr. Duncan, can you provide any clarification on the history of this parcel?
Yes, so in 2004, the parcel was rezoned from RA to neighborhood commercial with a conditional.
That's the corner lot. The corner lot was.
Yes, for a convenience store, Commissioner Hall. And then in 2017, that same section was rezoned to highway commercial with a conditional district for compartmentalized storage.
Gentlemen, do we have any more questions for Mr. Duncan? All right, well then, at this time, I will open the public hearing for case 2025-16. We have no one signed up to speak for this matter. Is there anyone in attendance that wishes to speak on this issue? Okay, then I will close the public hearing for this case. Gentlemen, do we have any further discussion or any questions for Mr. Duncan?
The applicant is over the interwebs. If you have any questions for him, Mr. Deacon, he lives in California. So if you have any questions for him.
Does he have anything he'd like to add?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Richardson.
Approval of case 2025-16.
Have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Are y'all ready? Okay.
It's your pleasure.
All right, thank you. So this is case 2025-17. This is the Quad Oaks LLC rezoning, and this is a request to rezone the property from highway commercial conditional district. That conditional district is for RV sales and service, and the property owner is requesting the parcel be rezoned to just straight highway commercial, so he can consider all uses within that zoning district. The tax pin is, for the record, is 7020-0084-6111. It's located at 227 Smith Road. It's in the Price Township, and the planning board did vote 6-0 to recommend approval at the regularly scheduled meeting in January. This parcel is located on future I-73 in the US 220 corridor. It's close to Virginia. Here is the parcel. It borders the highway. And here is a aerial map. There is, me and Adam we actually drove out to see all these parcels. There is a building currently on the parcel, but that's the only structure on the parcel, I believe. The parcel is located in the G3, or the mixed use and corridor land class, according to our comprehensive land use plan. And this is characterized as the county's strategic growth area. The Rockingham County Land Use Plan does suggest that the G3 land class are suitable for a variety of uses, mixed in intensity, and especially where water and sewer services are available. Section 4.2 of our land use plan does promote the development of new commercial opportunities while supporting the retention and expansion of existing businesses. And I'll answer any questions you guys have. And Mr. Mateer, the applicant, is also here if you have any questions of him.
Gentlemen, do we have any questions for Mr. Duncan at this time?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Callum.
Was there any calls for or against this?
There was 5 inquiries on this. They were just general inquiries. And we did have a public comment for the planning board. There was 2 people that signed up to speak against. And I think one of them spoke. I don't remember.
But nobody's here tonight to speak against it?
I don't believe so, Mr. Callum.
We do have somebody.
I have one person signed up for public comment.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same person you're referring to, but when I watched the planning meeting, I believe the couple was concerned about property value when they were speaking. So I'm not sure if that's what this is about with the public comment tonight, but we'll find out shortly.
Okay.
Gentlemen, any other questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Duncan. Clyde, I'm sorry, I don't want to mess up your rules. Did you say this is the time for the applicant to speak before we open the comment, or before we open the public hearing, or after?
We open the public hearing and ask for comments if the applicant's not here.
Applicant's here.
The applicant has something he wants to add.
I'm going to open public comment for case 2517. I'll begin with the applicant. Sir, do you have anything you'd like to add to the presentation?
Well, yes.
If you could just state your name.
My name's Edward Mateer, 6207 Morris Creek Drive, Summerfield, North Carolina. It's highway commercial now. All I'm wanting to do is request a change of getting rid of the conditional use. I think this is a strategic corridor as well as a strategic planning area for Rockingham County. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So next, that'll take us to comments. We have, I believe it's Mr. Thomas Murphy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You can approach. If you could just give your name and address, please.
Thomas Luther Murphy, 271 Craddock Road, Stoneville, North Carolina. Just inquiring of the purpose of, I live there. I live on the property. I want to make sure if I have the right to sell my land, if they're going to a commercial development, do I need to sell it to them? Do I need to sell it to a residential? I have intentions of building on that property. I've been there for 30 years almost. How will this affect me? It's probably barely 1,000 feet from the gentleman's property that was declared. No issues. It's his property, but how does it affect Thomas? That's what I'm here for. I mean, they'll be honest, that's all.
I'm sorry, it's not a dialogue time, it's just your time to speak.
I understand.
Okay,
I'm just trying to figure out how that would affect me as far as getting it changed over to a different zoning. Will I be able to build a house on that property? Or is it just all commercial? I can't build anything on it. Right now, I do still live on it. But I'm just hoping to build something a little bit more substantial. So that's what I need to know. Do I need to seek counsel, perhaps? Or?
I think we can tell you that you're going to get a partial answer because this is an unconditional zoning. And your opinion about whether it will affect will be your opinion.
Yes, sir.
However, I think somebody's going to be able to give you at least a partial answer, and you'll be comfortable going whichever way you want to go.
Right, right. So when will that probably get?
Well, I'll speak to Mr. Duncan when he comes back up.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. So that was all we had for public comment, so I will close the public hearing for case 2517. Mr. Duncan, I just want to seek some clarification from you. To be clear, when he's saying I live on the property, he's not referring to the parcel we're talking about, correct? He's talking about the parcel next to this property.
Yes, sir. I believe he's an adjacent property owner or an abutting property owner within 1,000 feet, and he would have received a notification letter in the mail.
Yes, sir. Okay, so just to be clear, when we rezone a property next to an adjacent property, it doesn't change the zoning for the adjacent property?
Yes, sir, that's correct. The owner of that property would also have to request a rezoning for their property as well.
Does that answer your question, Mr. Murphy? I'm good. Okay. All right, gentlemen, do we have any more discussion and questions for Mr. Duncan? All right, then I will accept a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we accept the rezoning for case 2025-17.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Hall.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Callum. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Our next case is case 2025-19. This is the Bryant rezoning, and this is a request to rezone a parcel from residential agricultural to highway commercial. The tax bin for the record is 8901-0085-0655. It's located near 195 US Highway 29 business in the Reedsville Township, and this is also a conventional rezoning. And the planning board did vote 6-0 to recommend approval on its regularly scheduled January 12th, 2026 meeting. This parcel is located in the exact opposite area of the previous parcel. It's in the southeastern part of the county along the US 29 future Interstate 785 corridor. It is located right at the, actually the intersection of US 29 business and US Highway 29. This is a aerial of the property. It's located directly behind, I believe that's a utility address of 195. This parcel is located in the G2 transect according to the Rockingham County Land Use Plan. This is characterized as the county's controlled density growth area. The Rockingham County Land Use Plan suggests that areas within this land use class should be zoned rural commercial, neighborhood commercial. They could be planned unit development or residential mix. The section 4.2 does support and promotes the development of new commercial opportunities while supporting the retention and expansion of existing businesses. And we do recommend approval, even though it may not necessarily be consistent with our land use plan because of its close proximity to a future interstate. And it is reasonable.
Mr. Duncan, what did the planning board vote on this one?
I think it was 6-0. And the applicant, Mr. Bryan, is also here if you have any questions of him.
All right, thank you very much. Gentlemen, do we have any questions at this point for Mr. Duncan or for the applicant?
Was there any complaints or calls?
We had 2 general inquiries about this property. They were just general inquiries, Commissioner Callum. No one for or against. They received the letter in the mail and they were just curious on what it was about.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, with that being said, I will open public hearing for case 2519. We have no one signed up to speak for public comment. Would the applicant have anything he'd like to add? Okay. With that being said, I will close public hearing for case 2025-19. Gentlemen, do we have any further discussion or questions for Mr. Duncan? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve case 2025-19.
Motion by Commissioner Kell.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Our last case for tonight is case 2025-21. This is the Cardwell rezoning. This is a request to rezone a property from residential protected to residential agricultural. The tax bin for the record is 7909-0006-7969. The location of the parcel is near the intersection of Park Road and NC Highway 770. It's located in the Madison Township. This is also a conventional rezoning, and the planning board did vote 6-0 during the regularly scheduled meeting in January. This parcel is located almost in Stokes County, right along it's 770 on Park Road in the northwestern section of the county. The zoning map, it's pretty mixed. There's RA and RP surrounding the parcel. This is an aerial map of the parcel. This parcel is located in the O2 land class of the Rockingham County Land Use Plan, which is characterized as the county's low-density, single-family residential growth area. The land use plan does suggest that anything in the O2 transect area should generally be zoned residential agricultural, as it is the county's most rural zoning jurisdiction. Staff finds the application to be complete and does recommend the rezoning.
Gentlemen, do we have any questions for Mr. Duncan? Mr. Duncan, I know you said that you guys had did some driving around the county. Did you guys drive and look at this parcel?
We did.
As did I. Could you describe for the public what the uses were like with the types of homes that are in this area?
It's a mix of single-family residences, single wides, and double wides. It's all kinds of different housing.
Thank you very much. With that being said, I will open public hearing for case 2025-21. We had no one signed up for this hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this issue? With that being said, I will close the public hearing. Gentlemen, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the recommendation to rezone case 2025-21.
Motion by Commissioner Hall.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kellum. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Duncan.
Thank y'all. Have a good evening.
You too. This takes us to item 10, discussions. County Manager Lance Metzler, increase of health insurance fund as listed on the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Board of Commissioners. Currently, we budget roughly $7.9 million for medical and prescription and around $570,000 for dental care claims this fiscal year. However, as we're self-insured, it's just a best guess looking at the past years and projecting for this current year. Our claim cost is trending higher than we expected at the beginning of the fiscal year with medical, prescription, and dental. As you know, we can't predict the health of our workforce. We can only make estimates at the beginning of the fiscal year. We're estimating that we may need $1,610,000 to cover this year for health insurance from the health insurance fund, not, and I say not again, from the general fund balance. And that's what we need. We're anticipating we might get $720,000 for current year revenues, and we'll need to use $890,000 from the health insurance fund. If we fare better in the second half of the year, this is as of December the 31st. If we fare better in the second half of the year, we might not have to use it all, but rather be safe than sorry. I'm requesting you all increase the health insurance fund by $1,610,000 from the health insurance fund balance. Mr. Chair?
Mr. Metzler, just to be clear, this is more than a discussion. You're requesting a motion for this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Gentlemen, do we have any questions for for County Manager Metzler? Commissioner Berger.
This is always a guessing game. It's been something that the board has discussed a concern over for several years. Is this a trend that's anticipated into the future, or is it something that maybe we've got some folks that have some extraordinary expenses that have hit us this year that may be short-term? Or do you know?
I would not say yet. I hate to say a political answer, but I would hate to say yes or no. We have seen from 2022 it was 7.25 all the way up till 2025 was 9.5. So we just a shot in the dark. We do have some anomalies this year that aren't usual. To To say we won't have those next year, I can't tell you, but this year we have had some anomalies that weren't normally anticipated.
Yes, Mr. Manager, the last line of the discussion topic, it says bringing the fund balance total to 4.8 million. Now, will that be after we take this 1.8 or before it?
So June 30th of 2025 was the number, the $4.8 million. So this would be the current fund balance. If you use the money that we're requesting, that would take it down to 4.1.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, any further discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the recommendation to move $1,610,000 to cover estimated expenditures through June 30th, 2026.
Motion by Commissioner Hall.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Richardson. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to our next item under 10 discussions, which is Captain Jennifer Brown from the Sheriff's Office. Request approval to appropriate available fund balance in the amount of $618,769 to cover anticipated shortfall in inmate medical budget for the remainder of the fiscal year 25-26. And we have both Captain Browns with us here.
We have dual Browns tonight. Mr. Chair, Commissioners, we are coming to you to request approval to appropriate available fund balance in the amount, as Chairman said, $618,769 to cover anticipated shortfall in inmate medical budget for the remainder of this fiscal year. The overcost pool limit for Southern Health Partners has been higher than average due to multiple inmates with serious medical conditions that required hospitalization and specialized care. These costs are driven by the level of medical care required by current inmate population and can be unpredictable at times, and most of the time they are quite unpredictable. To ensure continuity of care and meet contractual and medical obligations, we are requesting the $618,769 from fund balance to cover projected inmate health care costs for the remainder of fiscal year 25-26. Now, this number comes from looking at what has been spent already this year, this fiscal year, and what we are looking at to cover for the rest of the fiscal year. We may not, as said by Mr. Metzler with his discussion, we may not need this amount. But at this point, we do not know. We have continuing care for inmates that neither of us nor anyone at the office can predict. It just depends on what the health of the inmates are when they come into our facility, what happens to them while they're there, and we are required by law to take care of these inmates. Do we have any questions
Thank you,
concerning
Captain Brown.
this?
Gentlemen, do we have any questions for either Captain Brown here?
Yeah, I have a question.
Commissioner Callum.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess as Commissioner Berger said, it's kind of like a guessing game of what goes on and what happens to an inmate. But some of the care may even extend out of the county. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. When care cannot be given in this county, inmates can be sent to central prison, where we call safekeeping, and then from there, inmates can be sent for further medical care at other hospitals. And I can refer this to Captain Brown, being over the detention facility. He can give you specific information or more detailed how that works.
And when one inmate is sent to Central Hospital, you may not know the time or the time frame when the inmate could come back.
Correct. Yes, that's true.
Just depending, I guess, the severity of the problem.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Richardson.
Don't you on occasion have residents in your jail taller, Mr. Brown, from other counties? When they incur medical expenses, is that sent back to the other county?
Yes, sir.
And this money that you're asking for, shorter, Captain Brown, you want transferred to your budget line item, is that correct?
to the inmate medical budget line.
Don't use it, it will automatically return to the county.
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you. Appreciate that clarification.
Commissioner Berger?
Yes. So I guess it's fair to say that sometimes the inmate's condition changes after they come in. And sometimes that could be a change in medical condition for people that are there for pretrial purposes. Is that right? What communication is had updating the district attorney's office or defense attorneys with some of those changes?
It depends on the situation. If it's something where it's looking like we're gonna cost the county a lot of money, we'll go and try and get it unsecured. But
Captain Brown, I'm sorry, could you step a little closer to the microphone?
it's a situation where it's looking like it's gonna cost the county a lot of money, we will go and speak to someone to try and get it unsecured or see if we can move the case along sooner. But that's not always the case. It doesn't work with everyone.
But you do have that line of communication.
We do.
Okay. And then as far as I'm sorry, the pretrial ankle monitor that we do, is there only one contracted party that does that? Or is there multiple parties that have the ability to do the ankle monitoring pretrial?
So, pre-trial, there is the county's version, and we also have one that's sponsored by the state. The one by the state has not been running smoothly, and a lot of times they are put onto the county's electronic house.
And I ask that question because I know of instances where it takes a little bit of time for that to come to fruition after they satisfy other requirements for bonding out. And as they're awaiting the availability of that party or parties to show up, anything that happens, the liability falls into this financial burden that's here. Is there anything that can occur that can shorten that time frame?
I can't speak for them. I know that once we get the paperwork or the requirements are met, we contact them, and then when they show up, that's when we get them out.
Does the county, and I don't know how many suppliers there are, but does the county only contract with one party or multiple parties?
One party that I'm aware of.
Would it be something that we could look at multiple parties if they're available?
I don't think there would be an issue with the company that we contract with to supply more. It just depends on what we as a county want for the bracelets. And I think that comes down from court ordered.
Correct.
That we can't put them on the bracelets unless the court orders us.
Right.
But there's no problem if there were more. We would simply, of course, have to pay for that, but there would not be an issue with getting more bracelets.
I guess what I'm getting at is I know some instances where it's taken, a day or 2 days or some period of time for that release to occur after they satisfy every other requirement. And my concern would be whether or not there's any medical expenses being incurred during that period of time. And there may not be any at this point, but
I don't recall any from pretrial or house arrest going out to the hospital.
All right.
Commissioner Richardson?
This is, I think I know the answer to this, but for the public's benefit, most of your inmates are uninsured health-wise, is my understanding.
After 30 days, they all are.
Yes, and so the question is, why not use Medicaid? And the answer is?
Law doesn't allow it.
That's a good question. So after 48 hours of inpatient treatment, meaning they were in the hospital for more than 48 hours, they are eligible, I'll say, for Medicaid. However, they had to be on Medicaid to begin with. So it's not for everyone. You have to first qualify for Medicaid when you were not in jail. Come to jail, lose your services after 30 days, go to the hospital, be there for 2 days, and then you can do the Medicaid, or we can apply for Medicaid. And that is done through the provider.
And I can give you a little bit more detail. It's actually a federal requirement. The feds would have to change those qualification terms.
It's a question that I get a lot, and nobody likes my explanation, which sounds a lot like yours. Thank you very much. It's
Gentlemen, do we have any more questions or any further discussion? Well, then I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the request to appropriate $618,769 to cover anticipated shortfall in the inmate medical budget.
Motion by Commissioner Hall,
Second.
second by Commissioner Callum. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Manager, do we have any new business for this evening?
No, sir.
13, Commissioner comment. I will begin with Commissioner Callum.
I would like to congratulate the Reidsville football team again for their well-deserved victory. And we're in a primary season, and I encourage you to get out and vote. Vote for whoever you'd like. It is your right, and it's something you should do. And with that, I give it to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Callum. Commissioner Berger. Commissioner Richardson.
I'd also like to congratulate, it seems like I've been doing this a lot, to congratulate Reidsville High School football program. It's done well. As usual, I normally like to point out staff members that have done a great job. And tonight, Lance, you and your staff, including Olivia and Mandy and Todd and Derek, and yourself, have done a masterful job in getting this all together. And I appreciate that. Unless you're closely involved, you don't appreciate the detail and the amount of labor going into that. So well done, and thank you. I'd like to point out for all the citizens that the Habitat for Humanity is now in operation in Rockingham County, and they have an identified family and a project in the Stoneville area. A lady named Diane Myers is the chief operating officer, and I feel like I ought to have one of these BR 549 signs up there. But if you'd like to help with Habitat for Humanity, you can do that. Call her on her cell at 276-952-5792. And as Ann was pointing out earlier, this is a generous county. They do lots of volunteer things, and I recognize Ann and all of her team for that. But, sometimes we get less than useful participants in the public process here. And I would suggest to anybody that a good use of their time would be volunteering for Habitat for Humanity or helping Ann out with her food drive, and encourage you to increase the already excellent reputation our citizens have for being generous and volunteering. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Richardson. Commissioner Hall.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would encourage anybody interested in the county budget to take a look at our meeting that we held today at 4:15. It was the beginning of the planning process, goals, visioning for the community, sort of some trending tax increases, not tax increases, but what the tax department is forecasting for the coming year, and also what the finance department is looking to forecast for the coming year. So I'd encourage you to look at that. And I also appreciate the big turnout tonight from law enforcement staff, Sheriff's Department. Thank you guys for being here tonight. We appreciate all of you. So with that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Hall. We have been here since 4:15 today with our 2 meetings, so I'm going to keep it brief and just continue to encourage people to spread the word about our need in foster care. And thank you all for being here this late evening. We will have our next meeting on Monday, March the 3rd. I'm sorry, Monday, March the 2nd. And with that, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Hall, second by Commissioner Callum. All in favor? We stand in adjournment.